the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union Energy Update. So, it's been quite a while. I had gotten so incredibly sick the past 2 weeks with the virus. I had a little bit of trouble breathing. My energy was just completely down. I'm going to talk about this over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections sometime this week because I learned a lot about myself and why that was needed, why I was having that experience, especially since I had been sick in the past with a very difficult illness. So I had learned from that experience how to take care of myself and nurture myself through this experience. So it didn't feel much worse than a really bad flu, but I was having a little bit of trouble breathing. My energy was down. I was having trouble with any kind of physical activity. So I really took some time to take care of myself, to focus on myself. And now I am feeling much better, on my way to coming back. Yesterday, my dog and I went for a little short walk in the woods, which was really helpful for me to ground myself because I had been feeling a little bit lost. Again, I'm going to talk about this over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections sometime this week, and how it relates to the spiritual journey and what I've learned about the spiritual journey, how it relates to ascension. And I'm going to be introducing something very special that has been coming in over the past several months. It's a new healing modality that I have been channeling in, and so I'm going to introduce that and open it up for you guys as well. So stay tuned for that. There is a lot to come on the channel, and I'm just trying to take it little by little. I have a lot of projects planned, a lot that is being rolled out over the next couple of months. So I'm just trying to, just take it bit by bit and not get too caught up in, putting pressure on myself, which I believe is why I needed to shut down a little bit as well. But I'll talk all about that. Hopefully either tomorrow or on Friday over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connection. So make sure that you are subscribed over there as well for sacred channelings as well as light language transmissions and more in-depth readings. Okay, so some quick announcements. The new pick-a-pile for February for the Patreon is now up, and the channeling was just amazing for that. It was so clear and to the point. And it just amazing things that are happening. February's pick a pile, what you guys chose, it was you and them, their true desires, what you want to happen in the connection, and really amazing stuff coming through, especially when it comes to these divine counterparts, especially when it comes to your counterpart, whether it's a divine masculine or divine feminine. Really amazing energy coming through. So I'm excited to do the Sacred Union energy update and see what's going on for the broader collective. If you want to join the Patreon, you can go ahead and check out patreon.com/Susan Dawn Spiritual, or you can find all the information over on my website. You get, for the spiritual connections tier, you get a pick-a-pile, you get a specific scenario reading, and you get the monthly channelings. And then for the Ascension Connections tier, you're going to get a Valentine's Day romance reading bonus. Plus, you get access to the pick-a-pile, you get access to the specific scenario reading, and you get the access to the message poll live stream. A couple of you joined us last month. I was on the verge of recovery. I was very sick, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to do that. So hopefully this month is going to be a little bit more in depth. Hopefully you guys had fun. I was able to channel some messages for you guys as well, some personal messages in that reading. So if you join at the Ascension Connections tier, you get access to everything on the Patreon. So make sure that you're checking that out. So even though I was sick, I was not without productivity. I kept it very slow, but I had already been in the process of doing a lot of creation, including a new lifestyle digital series over in my Etsy shop. So I rolled out the calendar kits. So if you would like to stay organized, I have calendar kits available. I rolled out some greeting card packs, some art posters where you get access to 30 art posters for like $9. And then what I'm most excited about is the Vision Board Manifestation Bundle. So that includes a couple of different template designs. It includes stickers. It includes Oh gosh, what else does it include? Just so much. There's so much in that bundle. So if you would like to really up your manifestation or vision board game, then check out the printables. Or if you'd like to just stay organized, or just stuff for your life, your everyday life, with a little bit of a spiritual bent, then go ahead and check out the lifestyle series in my Etsy shop. I'm going to be rolling out a new twin flame journal next week. Make sure that you stay tuned for that. I also had just rolled out the shadow work journal. So the twin flame journal is going to be kind of a combination of the relationship journal and the shadow work journal, because as we all know, the twin flame journey is really about diving deep within ourselves and doing our healing work. And so I'm really excited about rolling those out as well. So make sure that you are checking out everything that I have available in my Etsy shop. Of course, I always have my message decks available, my tarot deck available, so you can check all that out as well. Okay, that being said, so there has still been a lot going on. I'm just not used to shutting down as I did. I'm used to being go, 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 productive, productive, productive. So this was very difficult for me. But we are continuing to roll out items, projects, and I'm really excited for what is to come. Stay tuned, because I am going to be having the meditations up, I believe, in March. And we'll have the new healing modality as well as some new light language transmissions. So it's all coming together. It's just, it might take a little bit of time. I'm also working on a couple of books, poetry book, a daily devotional, and a sacred channelings book. So all of that is coming in 2022, plus a new fiction book, because you guys know I'm a fiction author as well. So a lot coming down the pipeline planned for 2022, especially in this first quarter. So stay tuned. Over the next couple of months, we'll be rolling stuff out. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned to my website. Stay tuned to Tarot and Translation. Stay tuned to, we'll have webinars, we'll have workshops, all sorts of stuff coming. So I will stay tuned to my social media, the newsletter. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter for some freebies, as well as all the latest updates, because that will all be available there. Okay, so what we're doing today, I really got upgraded when I was sick, because the channeling just feels like it's so on point. We're going to be doing a Sacred Union energy update, but I want to take a moment and just share my experience of the past couple of days. I could not stop crying the past 3 days, and I do not know what that was about. There was this sense of nostalgia. If you guys saw the readings over on the community tab or on my Facebook or Instagram, you know that I've been channeling this. There's a sense of longing, but it wasn't longing from lack. It was longing as in the sense of like nostalgia, this sense of really feeling the love between you and your counterpart, really feeling that union energy. And what we've been channeling is that over the next several weeks to months, this really feels like June, July, August, even into September a little bit, really grounding that energy. And you're going to start seeing that as evidence over these next few weeks, February moving into the rest of the year. We're really going to, and I'm hearing the 222 portal. So that 222 portal is going to be really important as far as grounding this energy in the physical plane. So if you have been feeling your counterpart, if you have even been communicating with your counterpart and feeling a difference in that communication, or energetically been feeling a difference, more harmony, more peace, more balance, just overall more of a sense of love, then have faith in that, trust in that, because you are building a new foundation energetically, and that's going to be playing out in the physical experience. You're going to start seeing that as evidence in your physical world, in the physical plane, because of the transformation that has been taking place. Everybody that I talk to, and even my own experiences with my divine counterpart, it is such a profound difference. It is such a profound transformation. There is more communication, there's more harmony, there's more trust, there's more stability, there's more security. Every divine masculine seems to be going through this massive awakening, and there's more self-awareness. It's everything that we have been channeling, you guys. Everything that we've been channeling over the period of the past, I want to say 3 months. 6 months, yes, but really significant shifts for the past 3 months for these divine masculines. So do make sure that you are not ignoring the past readings. Go back and listen to some of the past readings because that energy is still very prominent here because it's going through a process. So listen to the reading that you feel called to. Go back through the playlist, even over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections, where we dive even deeper into these connections, into sacred union, into understanding the ascension journey. That might even be very significant as far as helping you along your journey. So we're at a really crucial, pivotal time where there's a lot of shifts and changes that are taking place for these connections, and there is just this leveling up that is happening internally, individually. And because it's happening individually, you're attracting that to your sacred connection, to your relationship with your counterpart. It's a massive just up leveling. We have been channeling that an old version of your connection had been brought to an end, and the new version is here. You had closed the door on an old portion of your connection, the old phase of your connection, where it was really about the healing journey, where you were triggering each other, where you were clearing out the pain patterns and the trauma and the drama. Now it's higher heart ascension. Now it's all about service, mission, just the higher heart energy of love between you two. So this is the new foundation that is being laid. And really, again, I really encourage you guys to listen back on some of the past several weeks of Sacred Union Energy updates, the mini readings, because it's all there. Everything that we're experiencing now has been there. I do tend to channel a little bit ahead as far as the collective and what's being experienced. So really do make sure that you are looking back on those older readings, because everything is meant to be timeless. That can actually help you on your soul growth journey and your connection journey now. Okay, so we're going to do a Sacred Union energy update. That being said, so what was I saying? Oh, yes, so there has been a lot of nostalgia, a lot of love being felt between these counterparts. Even the other day, I felt my divine counterpart just holding me and saying, I'm making it better. I'm going to make it better. And, part of me was like, is it wishful thinking? And I reached out to my counterpart and I explained to him what I was feeling. And he shared that he had been feeling so much love and such an open heart when it came to me and our connection. There is a huge there's just a huge heart expansion that has been happening lately, and it might actually bring you to tears. You might be going over your journey with your counterpart. There's a sense of nostalgia, reminiscence, a lot of memories coming up to the surface, but rather than memories that are attached to pain or drama that you've experienced in your connection, you're remembering the love. And that's because you are opening up even further your heart. And that's what it's all about. It's about opening the heart. It's about that heart expansion. That's what this journey is really all about. It's bringing you back to the love. So if you had been feeling nostalgic or reminiscent or just bawling your eyes out, just know, and not knowing why. And again, it not like a negative feeling, but just out of, a lot of love being felt. Know that it is because of the heart expansion, because that is what this journey is all about. Okay, so we're going to use the Spirit Animal Oracle deck and see what's going on for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and their union energies. I think we're going to do as well. So Divine Masculine, what's going on currently for the Divine Masculine, please? What's going on for the Divine Masculine? Divine Masculine, what do we need to know? Divine Masculine, what do we need to know? Divine Masculine. Oh my goodness. Oh, the dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. And the Divine Feminine. The pig spirit, use your mind wisely, and the union energies. The skunk spirit, know your worth. So I'm going to start with the union energies because what I feel like is you have been stung in the past, especially when it comes to this connection, or it feels like you've been stung in the past, or it feels like you were, how do I put this? It feels like you were sprayed. That's how they're bringing it to me. Sprayed with something unpleasant, where it almost feels like the connection had been tainted. But that was all the soul sludge. That was all the stuff that was coming up to the surface. It's interesting. Here on my wall, I have a push pin board. It's a map of Paris, and they keep guiding me. It's a big map, but they're specifically guiding me to Rue Saint Germain. Um, and Saint Germain obviously is the keeper of the violet flame. The violet flame being one that is a clearing energy. It purifies, it clears, it even protects. So it's interesting because I feel like that is what they're saying here. They're saying that you needed to experience everything that you had to experience in your journey with each other thus far, even though it felt like it was tainted, even though it felt like it was challenging or like there were obstacles or like it was difficult, remember the undercurrent of love that has always existed between you. That no matter what you experienced, you could feel the undercurrent of love. Now, this was not trauma bond. This was not attachment. This is not, something that is negative. You can feel the difference when something feels right to you and you're just going through a challenging time versus when a connection is not healthy. So even though you might have experienced challenges and difficulties, it's the undercurrent of love that was really, really guiding this. That has been really, keeping that connection going. Um, that's what this feels like. You learned so much about yourself through that contrast. You had to clear so much about your connection or about love, beliefs, pain patterns, trauma, not from this connection specifically, although this connection brought it up to the surface to be cleared. So it wasn't necessarily the two of you that were creating these pain patterns, but it was bringing up, they were your mirror, they were bringing up abandonment issues, rejection issues, neglect issues. They were showing you yourself. They were showing you, it was an opportunity to see, okay, where does this pain pattern still exist? Where am I still creating separation within myself? Where do I need healthier boundaries? Where am I not seeing my worth? Where am I not seeing my value? Where am I not loving myself? Where am I not connecting to God? So your true counterpart is the mirror for you, and you both had to go through this purging or this healing cycle in order to clear out anywhere where you were still creating separation within yourself. And as you created separation within yourself, of course, there was separation, physical separation or energetic separation with your counterpart. And the more that has healed, the more that has cleared, what happens is that's when you understand that you've always been in union, that separation has been the illusion, and that you always have and are together with your counterpart because you are one, because you're doing this together. You've always been on this journey together. So even though you might be in physical separation, lack of communication, it's not separation. You've always been doing this together. Everything has been an opportunity for healing, for growth, for expansion, and for love. And so with this, even though it might have felt like your connection had been tainted, so to speak, it was only because it was showing you, giving you the opportunity to see where you needed to clear out the old beliefs, the old templates, the old versions of yourself that were still holding on to separation energy. And so now that you are in your place of self-empowerment, now that you're in your place of recognizing your worth, now that you're in this place of having cleared out all of these old templates, what I like to call this soul gunk or this soul sludge, what's happening is you're coming into union. Things are softening, there's more harmony. It's like you're learning how to be with each other. And I love it. It reminds me of Flower from Bambi. They're showing me the flower with the skunk here, and it's reminding me of the character Bambi, who is just in Bambi. It's a skunk. His name is Flower, and he's just such a soft, gentle energy. And it's a creature who um, it can defend itself, it can sting, um, but it's a very gentle, harmonious energy that's coming through, very tender, very gentle, very soft. And it's like now you're learning how to love each other. You learned how to clear out the pain together. You learned how to have boundaries. You learned how to recognize your worth, learned how to recognize your value. You learned so much about yourself. And now you're learning through harmony, because you learned through the contrast. Now you're learning through harmony and gentleness and softness together, so that you don't sting, so that you don't trigger each other, so that you don't spray each other with all the projection and all the pain and all the trauma that you're holding on to. You're not doing that anymore. Now it's like, okay, we're learning how to coexist. We're learning how to love each other in this connection, rather than the pain of projection or the pain of separation. So this is a really beautiful energy that's coming through. It's a very different energy. This is the next level, the higher heart ascension that we've been channeling. So for the divine masculine, we have the dog spirit, and I am a dog person, so this is amazing. I love this. And what I'm actually getting, we have be loyal to what you love, and what I'm actually getting from this is divine masculine is really recognizing their own worth. And because of that, because they're recognizing that love within themselves, they're recognizing you as that counterpart, and that loyalty and that devotion that they have always felt for you, but that they never quite articulated or could consciously understand. They're starting to consciously understand. They're starting to understand this connection from a really deep level. They've always felt that love for you. They've always felt that sense of devotion to you, that sense of loyalty to you, even if they were in other connections, or even if they felt like they were putting a hand up, or they were like, trying to pull back from the connection. That was only their own lessons, their own experiences, their own karma that they had to go through and clear. Underneath the surface, they always felt that love. They always felt that sense of devotion. They always felt that sense of loyalty to you. And now it feels like they are acting on that. Now it feels like they are truly connecting to you, because they're connecting to themselves. That's their inner union. And the more they come into that inner union, the more they're able to recognize the union, the sacred love with their counterpart, with you. So I do feel like they're going to be expressing themselves more, communicating themselves more in this higher energy of love, devotion, and loyalty. This is a really beautiful energy. And this energy of the dog is just so exciting. It's unconditional love. It is just, when you come home, even if you're outside for a second and you walk inside your house, your dog is just so happy to see you. And the serotonin just kind of floods their brains, and they're so happy and they're so excited and they're so full of love. That's this energy here. It's just complete love. Um, it's almost funny the way that they're showing me this divine masculine. It's like they're allowing themselves now to feel this excitement, to feel this sense of love, to feel this. It's like this dog energy. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a golden retriever. I don't know how to explain it. Just the sense of excitement about love, because they're finally understanding love, because they've cleared out all those subconscious beliefs and pain patterns and the old templates and the old relationships that had caused them pain, that had created separation within them. Because they're clearing that out, they're able to recognize love, and they're able to recognize you as their sacred partner, as their true love. So there's this newfound sense of excitement. Oh my gosh, that's my person, that's my person. That's the energy that's coming through, and there's just such a sense of devotion and loyalty and excitement. I don't know how else to put it. It's really beautiful. We'll get some more on the divine masculine in a bit. So for the divine feminine, we have the pig spirit, and what I love about this is pigs are interesting creatures. They're very similar to dogs in their intellect and their affection, maybe a little bit more reserved, but they have this sense of intellect as well, very similar to dogs. In fact, they act very similar to dogs as well. There's this sense of where I feel like this energy is, let's go, let's go, let's go, so excited, it's my person. I want to just go full throttle. I feel like there's more of a cautious energy that's coming through with the pig spirit for the divine feminine. And this is because I feel like you were learning how to trust deeper. I feel like you've always known what your connection is with your divine counterpart. That has been both the curse and the blessing, because you really have had from the very beginning, since you had your first meeting or your recognition of each other, that feeling of home when you met each other, you had that conscious awareness. This is different than anything I've experienced before. There's a depth to this connection. And you were launched on this ascension journey where you were very much aware, okay, this is what I need to do to heal. This is what I need to do to transform. This is what I need to do to create more harmony, more peace in my life. You are very much aware of the journey from a higher perspective. That is the divine feminine energy. She's very conscious. She's very aware. It's this high priestess energy. So it has been a blessing for you, because it very difficult for the divine masculines, because they were not consciously aware of this journey up until this point. Now they are, and it's getting easier for them because they're more conscious of, okay, I'm doing the deep dives, I'm doing the shadow work, this is how it's changing me, I'm feeling the difference. They're understanding it now because they're connecting to their own inner feminine energy. For you, divine feminines, it was a little bit more difficult because you always had this conscious awareness, but it felt like you were doing this alone. It felt like even though you had a sacred partner that you were triggering and you were mirroring and you were healing together, your divine counterpart, it felt like you were doing this alone, because it felt like your divine counterpart didn't entirely understand, or they weren't conscious of it, or they weren't entirely aware on the level that you were. And so it felt very lonely for you. And so that created its own kind of karmic loop, that created its own pain patterns within your connection. And so now that you have closed out a cycle with your partnership, you've closed out that one phase of your journey that was extremely difficult, you are moving into a new phase which is filled with conscious awareness, healthy relationship, self-empowerment and love together, but you're taking it slowly. You are being a little bit more cautious because it feels like you're building that trust back. Not that there was a sense of betrayal in your connection. Now, there could have been. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. But it's more along the lines of you felt very much alone in the journey. That's where the betrayal felt. You felt the separation. And so as you heal that separation, you recognize, oh, we were always doing it together. They did this because of this, or they did this as an opportunity to show me this, or, you see where the healing was happening, but it's still making you say, okay, we want more stability, we want more security, we want to build a better foundation, so I'm going to take it a little bit slow. So use your mind wisely is this energy of cautiousness. It's being very mindful rather than going full throttle. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, which is this energy. You're saying, okay, let's be more mindful. Let's take it slow. Let's take it cautiously. Not that you are, it's a very reserved energy. So it's not that you are in an energy of fear. It's just in an energy of building the foundation, not rushing anything, because you want the foundation to be solid. You want it to be very harmonious. You want it to be very stable, so you're not rushing to build it, because that's where mistakes are made. It's like when you're building a house, if you rush and you cut corners, then you can ruin the entire house. So you're really taking your time to let the divine timing take place. You are not trying to manipulate anything anymore, not trying to control anything, not trying to rush anything. You're just allowing it to unfold in its perfect timing. So there's a little bit of it's cautious, but it's more of a reserved energy. That's more of a better word for it. It's more of a reserved energy. Just, before you might have been in this energy, let's go. I recognize you as my sacred partner. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Well, you learned along this journey that it was more than that. That you needed to learn more than that. That there were significant transformations that you had to make within yourself. And so now you have a greater sense of wisdom. You have a greater sense of maturity. And so you're saying, you know what? It's okay. We can take our time. That's this energy here. And that's actually a really positive energy to be in, because this brings about more balance. It brings about a more tempered energy, a more mature energy, a healthier energy, especially when it comes to creating and forming your relationship. This is a healthier foundation that you're building on. So this is actually a really good energy that you guys are in. Okay. Whew. I swear I've gotten upgraded because the channeling feels really good. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Let's see, where is the divine masculine when it comes to their journey right now? Where's the divine masculine when it comes to their journey? Where's the divine masculine when it comes to their journey? The temple path, exactly. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. And divine feminine, angel of love, I love it, and the union energy between them. Door to value, look, know your worth and door to value, exactly. Exactly. I'm going to start here for a minute because a very brief message is coming through here. This door to value is recognizing your worth, and not only recognizing your individual worth, but recognizing the worth of each other, recognizing the value of this connection that goes beyond what you thought. It goes beyond romance. It goes beyond relationship as far as what you think relationship is in the physical 3D experience, human experience. It is valuable as far as the growth and the expansion and the transformation and the spiritual ascension that you go through. That is what this connection is all about. It is a deep-seated soul connection for growth in the highest octave and energy of love. And so that's where you're recognizing the worth and the value, because you're recognizing that within yourself. You'll have everything as far as whatever it is that you want to create as your human experience, but it goes so much deeper than that. And you're both recognizing that, you're both finding the value in that. This is a really beautiful energy, especially for the divine masculines here who have the temple path. We've channeled this energy before. They really are meeting you where you are. Maybe about 2 years ago, I can't remember when it was, I had channeled a message with this specific card where it was, you were waiting, divine feminine, within this temple here. You've been going through your ascension journey. You've been ascending, expanding, growing. The divine masculine was kind of going into their own darkness, going down deep into themselves, doing their shadow work in their own spiral. Well, they've been going through that process. They've been going through the dark nights. They've been doing their shadow work. They've been going into the deepest parts of themselves. And that's what the spiral is. Even though you're ascending and shifting into higher consciousness, you're actually going deeper and deeper inside of yourself, connecting to yourself, knowing yourself on a much deeper level, going down within. When I say down, it's like just going deeper within in order to shift in consciousness higher. So as you raise in consciousness, you're actually going deep within yourself, and that's what the divine masculine has been doing. I feel like now they are ascending the steps. Now they are meeting you here, and what I'm actually seeing is a vision of two beautiful sacred partners meeting in this temple and embracing hands. I had a vision with my divine counterpart. I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago. I woke from a dream, and he had a similar dream at the same time. And we were in Egypt, and we were with Isis. And we were both emerging from this sacred pool of water. And we were standing before Isis, and we were holding hands. There was this purifying energy that was coming through, this clearing energy that was coming through from the sacred pool, joining hands, merging as one. That's what this feels like. That's what this vision is reminding me of. What they're bringing forth, it's the merging of one. You've both been through your own ascensions, your own individual ascensions, and the process of ascension continues. You're moving into the next phase of your ascension journey, what I like to call higher heart ascension. Having gone through all the healing work, the shadow work, you're going to continue to heal, but now you're in a different level of consciousness, a different frequency of your ascension journey. And so now you're meeting together in the sacred temple to start the next phase of your journey together, where you are both conscious, where you're both in a higher frequency, and thus doing the healing work together, doing the mission work together in the energy of love. Divine feminines, you are embodying sacred love. You are this angel of love. You are embodying the energy of love. This is all about being true to yourself. This is all about your true nature as divine feminine. Divine feminine is the energy of love. And now everybody has both the masculine and the feminine energies within divine feminine. You are really embracing that and allowing yourself to both give and receive in that higher frequency of love, really embodying, I don't have another word for it, embodying this higher frequency of the higher heart, of the higher ascension, of the higher frequency of love. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Let's get some tarot. I'm going to use some regular tarot here. So let's see if we can get a little bit deeper. All right, what do we need to know for the divine masculine, please? It's too many. What do we need to know for the divine masculine and their ascension journey? We have the Four of Swords. Divine masculine, please. We have the Ten of Cups, the Moon, and the Ten of Wands. Divine feminine, please. I'll take all those. Three of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands. Okay, so what I'm actually getting, I'm going to start with the divine feminine here. What I'm actually getting is this Trinity energy. This is a union energy. Divine feminine has come into union with herself. She has balanced out the masculine and the feminine energies within herself. She is standing very strong in her self-empowerment, in her personal embodiment. She is just in a place where she knows when to access the masculine energy within her and when to step back and access the core essence of feminine energy within her. So she's really in this beautiful place of balance where at any given moment she can be in this divine place. She's cleared the distorted energies of the masculine and the feminine. Distortions being, a lack of stability, a lack of presence, perhaps over expressing oneself, oversharing, holding back, not being able to receive, not going with the flow. Those are all the distortions between the masculine and the feminine. She's really healed this and has really come into her place of inner union. With the Three of Pentacles here, this is working in partnership with another. So divine feminine really feels like she is ready to enter this partnership with her divine counterpart because she has entered the union with herself. Now, I feel like the divine masculine is currently going through this process as well. I don't feel like they're quite there yet. They're balancing out. They're still doing some healing work. They're still going through this transformation, but they're getting there. This is the converging point. Back in I think it was the fall, we had channeled that many counterparts had gone into some form of separation, physical separation, lack of communication, whatever it was. You might have still been in communication. There might have been some kind of physical separation. You might still have felt each other energetically. It's because you recognized even at that point that even though you were in separation, some kind of, not being together in some way, shape, or form, that you're still in union. That separation was an illusion. So even though you were separated physically, or maybe you were traveling, or maybe one of you had moved, or maybe there was no communication, or communication stopped, or whatever it was. Everybody's situation is a little bit different, but there was some kind of seeming separation. And that was because you still had some more growth to do individually. So you recognize that you were still on the same frequency. You were still in union. You were still doing this together. There just had to be some kind of physical experience of separation. In order to continue on your path, you needed to grow, you needed to heal, you needed to transform, you needed to expand individually. I talk about that a lot over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections if you want to learn more. So now you were at this point, you were still kind of traveling on this circle. That's what they showed it to me as, like a circle. So you were still kind of on the same frequency, on the same band, on the same thread, but doing so individually. And they called it individualism, not separation, because again, separation was the illusion. You're always in union with each other. But what's happening now is you were growing, learning, transforming through this separation, through this phase, and now what's happening is you're converging again. So where you had once diverged, now you're converging again, and that's exactly what's happening. So I feel like the divine feminine, because you had to come into your inner union before you come into union with your physical counterpart in relationship, in the physical partnership, your physical plane. So divine feminine, she is in her place of union, her inner balance, her wholeness within herself. Divine masculine, it's not so much of a playing catch up as they are undergoing that process right now. So what's happening is you are going to converge, you are going to meet. And we had channeled a couple of days ago where it does feel like divine masculine is kind of playing a little bit of catch up. I forget how I had called it on Instagram or Facebook, one of the readings there. It's not so much a catch up, they're not behind. So I don't want you to feel like your divine masculine is behind you. They're just still going through the process that you have somewhat completed in and of yourself. So they're not behind, they're not playing catch up in that respect. They are just continuing through that process. And that's what this feels like here. This Four of Swords feels like that healing process, that process of coming into union, that surrendering to themselves and surrendering all of the old. With the Ten of Cups here, the Moon, and the Ten of Wands, they are surrendering the old version of themselves, the old cycle, the old phase, just as you had, divine feminines, in order to reach that happiness and believe in that happiness. And again, it's that dog spirit, that happiness, that excitement. Yes, 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 I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. That's this energy here, but they're still moving through the ending of that cycle for themselves. Okay. Divine masculines, how are they feeling about the divine feminines right now? How's the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine? How's the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine? Sexual freedom. This feels more like just freedom in general. And with the sexual energy, it's that sacredness, it's that sacral chakra, it's that openness, it's that vulnerability, it's that intimacy. But this really feels more like an emotional thing than a physical thing. I do feel like they want to, how do I say this? I do feel like they want to come into partnership with you. In the physical, again, it doesn't feel so much like of a sexual nature, it just feels more emotional. But with that emotion comes the desire to be with you physically. Again, it's not so much sexually, but to be in your presence, to be holding you, to be affectionate with you, to be around you physically. That's what this feels like. It feels like with that intimacy, with that vulnerability within themselves, with that sense of freedom within themselves, we had channeled for a long time that the divine masculines were in a little bit of a pressure cooker. And especially with the divine feminines, as she tried to control or force this through no fault of her own, it's just the old templates that were running for her, the old programs that were running based on relationships. Divine masculines were feeling this, and they were feeling this pressure, and so it was creating resistance within them. Well, as the divine feminine has really opened up herself and just gone with the divine flow of things, not trying to force it, not trying to rush it, just allowing divine timing and surrendering to divine timing and the divine flow of things, that has released the pressure for the divine masculine. That's what this feels like. It allows them to be more vulnerable, it allows them to feel more free and love within themselves. This is them opening up and expanding. And as they're doing this, they're wanting to come into physical partnership with you. They're wanting to meet up with you. They're wanting to have conversation with you. They're wanting to be in your presence. This is a really beautiful energy of wanting to come together. Divine feminine, how is she feeling towards the divine masculine? spiritual maturity, wanting to ascend together now, wanting to do this phase of the relationship together. Now, she's always wanted this, but again, she had been in this place of feeling like she was alone in this, and that caused a lot of pain for her, and it felt like she was ascending by herself. It felt like she was without her divine counterpart. It felt like there was no conscious awareness from her divine counterpart. It felt like it was very uneven, and so she did have to, in essence, she did have to go through a lot of this journey on her own. But now that she's in her own inner union, she's recognized that she has never been out of union with her counterpart, because her counterpart and her are one. It's one energy, it's the same frequency. And so she's recognizing that she's always been doing this with her divine counterpart. And so, with that wisdom, with that sense of maturity, she's recognizing, okay, we are ascending together. We are going through this journey together. We are going up the mountain together. And now I really do feel ready to do this in physical partnership. But she's not forcing it. She's not rushing it. She's just allowing it to happen. That's the spiritual maturity that she's experiencing, which is helping the divine masculine to experience this sense of freedom. And that's what it is to love unconditionally. It is to be free in that love. It's not to hold on so tightly. It's not to create resistance. It's not to create attachment. It is to love freely, beautifully, openly. That doesn't mean non-monogamous. There is a misuse or misunderstanding that if you are free in love, then you're not monogamous with one person. We have the devotion card, the loyalty card here. You are devoted to each other. You do recognize each other as your persons, as your sacred partners. But you don't hold on with this dear life because that's fear. You don't create that resistance and squeeze so tightly because you're afraid of abandonment, because you're afraid of rejection, because you're afraid of letting go. You love openly, freely. I forget, there's a Buddhist monk who put it beautifully. It's like you hold a bird in your hand, but you don't shut your hand up because the bird will just fly away and be scared. But you let the bird just land gently in your hand. You let the bird just, be as it does, and you just love the bird and accept the bird in that present moment, in every present moment. That's where you love freely, you love lightly, you love gently. That's what it means to love unconditionally. You don't have that fear. You just allow yourself to love. That's what spiritual maturity is. That's what brings about this sense of freedom and this deeper sense of love. The depth of love between these counterparts is stunning. It's remarkable. And that creates that sense of devotion and loyalty to each other. But it's not something that can be forced. It's not something that can be controlled. It just is. And the more present you are with love, the more love is able to grow and expand and deepen between you both. Okay, I'm going to end with messages to each other. Few cards, but a lot of channeling today. So let's end with messages. What does the divine masculine want to say to the divine feminine? What does the divine masculine want to say to the divine feminine? You bring light to my darkness. Oh, it's beautiful. What does the divine feminine want to say to the divine masculine? The beauty of your soul takes my breath away. That's the title card. Let's get one more. Divine feminine to divine masculine. I want to begin again. Yeah, she really does want to build this new foundation. She might be a little bit cautious. She might be a little bit reserved, but she really does feel this connection and want to begin again. And I feel like the divine masculine is mirroring this as well. And divine masculine, I'm confronting my past in order to build my future with you. That's what I'm getting here. And between you guys, I'm going to take the bottom of the deck. We're under the same sky. Feel me there. I am running a sale on my romance and love-oriented message decks, as well as my greeting card packs. the love packs and the relationship journal. So make sure that you're checking out my Etsy shop. And we will be back over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connection sometime this week. We'll be back next week with the daily energy draws. I still have to take a little bit slow as I am still kind of in recovery mode. So we will be back with those next week and with some more readings over on Instagram and Facebook. So make sure that you're following everywhere. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.